Hey there, Dynamos. How are you today? I'm sorry I couldn't be there for our meeting today, but I did want to take some time to discuss part 2 of our introduction to business. Now, you recall from our last meeting that we discussed last time the 5 questions you have to be asking yourself when you are considering starting a new venture. So before we go into the new content, I wanted to review what we discussed last time to make sure that it's fresh in your head so we can move forward. Question number 1. Who do you help? The importance of this question means it's going to describe the specific target market that your product or service is going to try and target. This is important because if you try to aim too broadly, chances are you're not going to develop a service or a product that is attractive enough to a certain clientele. So we want to try and make our product and service as specifically targeted as possible so that we can really be of benefit to these folks so they'll be willing to come back to us again and again. Question number 2 is, what need or want are you fulfilling through your product or service? This is really important to identify. What is it you're trying to solve? Because people do not buy or work with you unless you're doing something to address their needs. By focusing on their needs or their wants, their desires, we're going to be sure to develop a product or service that is actually going to have a market. A lot of times when we are excited about our own ideas, we don't translate those ideas into how these manifest themselves as desires from other people. And without matching our ideas to those desires, chances are you're not going to find a lot of people to buy your product. Question number 3 pertains to, how do you deliver on that need or want in a specific, special, or unique way? Now, we didn't discuss this very much last time. We're going to save that till later on in this session. Number 4 is, how is their life better? This is important because by seeing your work and how it enriches and makes better the lives of others, that is a source of your own personal renewal. If you do not have that piece, you're going to find that your business is draining on you. You want to make sure that as we work in our business that we do not get so tired of it because we don't have the reward of just being helpful and making a positive impact on the world. So it's important to always keep in mind how we're making lives better by working with us. Finally, where's your heart? The one part of your product or service that no one else can ever replace is you. So it's important to put that little spark of you, whatever that might be, into your business. That way, it's your business, not someone else's. You'll feel genuine, and again, no one can replace you. That's this first segment. Be back in just a minute for segment 2. Welcome back, Dynamos. Now we'll go into our second segment, discussing a bit more of general overall strategy. Now, what I've been trying to lead you towards so far is a niche strategy, a specific target market. And I'm going to now tell you why that's the way we should go. There are 3 real ways, 3 general overall business strategies that businesses choose to employ. We have a differentiation strategy. That's more of high-tech, some particular product or service that no one else can match or do. That's very unique. We have customer focus, which means creating a set of service offering that is uniquely suited for a small group of people or for a unique group of people. It could be a customer service strategy. It could be a responsiveness strategy. We're going to get to that here a bit more, but it's trying to tailor your service offering to the needs of a specific clientele. Finally, we have a cost leadership strategy. This is your people who are very economically sensitive. They're the cheap ones, the Walmarts of the world. Now, I'm going to try and tell you now why there's one specific type of strategy that is best for most small businesses. First of all, if we wish to employ a differentiation strategy, that often means we have to invest in a lot of technical R&D, research and development. We're trying to invest in technology. We're trying to, again, find a way to build a better mousetrap. Now, if you happen to be a small business owner who maybe has a patent or some sort of a way to protect the design, this might be a way to utilize a differentiation strategy. If you ever watch a lot of the ABC show Shark Tank, you always see that the investors there are asking what is the status of the intellectual property. Is there a patent that will allow you to tighten down and clamp down on the technology so that no one else can move in on your market? Because if you're a very low capital firm, chances are if you cannot protect that product, someone with deeper pockets than you is going to swoop in and grab that market share because they can find a way to adapt better and faster than you can because they have more money to invest on it. So I would say as a small business owner, unless you have some innovative idea that cannot be easily duplicated, such as by a patent, a differentiation strategy probably is not the best approach. Secondly, the cost leadership strategy, unless you are willing to pay yourself practically nothing, which obviously is not very sensible for someone who wants to make a living at doing their business, the only way to get a cost leadership approach other than the reducing wages is by getting large economies of scale. Walmart is the biggest vendor of products in the world, and that is why they can afford to do things so cheaply. So as a small business, we cannot very easily have a large economies of scale to facilitate a cost leadership strategy. Now, it's possible that in the future, after we've grown our business, maybe we can try and do a cost leadership approach. So, but as a small business owner, this is probably not a good place to start. Which leaves us the customer focus strategy. Again, what we're going to try to do here is create a business that is sensitive to the unique needs of a certain clientele. And if it's a small business, what we want to do is make the target market small enough that the guys with big pockets don't want to invest the time and energy to go after that market, but large enough so that it allows us to enrich ourselves. So that's what we're trying to go for. And this is where you match your unique background to figuring out who to focus your efforts on. Some of you may wish to target real estate investors. Some may wish to go for military veterans or women. You maybe wish to provide speaking services to women to help them with their leadership development programs. It doesn't really matter. Just find a group that you really want to work with, and one that it's small enough that you can make unique, tailored programs just for them. So this is an overview of the 3 main business strategies. In the next segment, we'll discuss a bit more about structuring your business. Hey Dynamos, now we're going to discuss the crux of what we're talking about here. This is going to be the discussion of putting together the business model for your business. Now, when we say the word business plan, a lot of us think of these beefy 50, 100-page works of boredom, really, with multicolored graphs and tables of financials. It doesn't need to be nearly that complicated. What I'm going to show you now is what I call the 10-minute business plan. A very simple, concrete model for you to put together and assemble the prototype of your business, having all the major aspects of your business plan, but delivered in a very easy and very accessible way of trying to do it. And anybody can probably do this for their business or their proposed business within about a half an hour or so. So let's get started. Top of this pyramid is your vision. Now, what is a vision? Well, a vision is what the world looks like and what your business looks like when it's finally achieved what you want it to achieve. Maybe your vision could be simple, that I want to have my business be the #1 soft drink manufacturer in the world. That could be one example of a vision. It's not today, it's where you want to be when you are done. Okay? Now, below the vision is the mission. Now, the mission is more of it's a current deal. It's what you're doing right now. It's how you are trying to make your way toward your vision today. A good analogy to describe the difference between these two: the vision is the destination, your mission is your current path and direction. So if you run your GPS, say if you're driving to San Francisco, getting to San Francisco is your vision, but you may start off on I-80 going west. That's the difference between the vision and the mission. And this is where you start plugging in some of the ideas we discussed in those 5 question standpoint. Over here, the needs and wants of your customers. What are you doing today, or what problems are you trying to solve for your customer? That gives you a gap or an opportunity to improve people's lives. That's on this side. On this side here, all the way over here, is customer enrichment. It's, again, that question about how are people's lives made better by having dealt with you. It's not saying, if I have a car, I'm not going 60 miles an hour here. If I'm in a fast, sporty car, I am emotionally put into the realm of being the Indy 500 car racer, and it's the experience of being in a high-performance automobile that is what I'm trying to get at. So again, it's not the specifics of the product or service. It is the impact that product or service brings to the life of your customer. Now, the question in the middle that I said we had to work out before about how to do it in a unique way, well, that's here. This is the main body of your business. Specific objectives that allow you to come from the needs and the wants to deliver the customer enrichment. And those objectives are going to be supported by different strategies, which are a bit more specific than ultimately tactics. Specific initiatives you're going to try and put into place to achieve the strategy, which will lead to the objective. The objective is going to be a bit more general. It may be, say, one objective could be to improve customer service ratings by 10%. Okay, one strategy that could be is we're going to be the most responsive of our competitors. We're going to be, so if a customer has a question or or if they need help, we're going to be the first person to respond to their need. And specific tactics might be, I will always have my cell phone with me, and my customers can call me at any time to go ahead and answer those questions. Or it could be, I promise to respond within 2 hours of any email or phone calls sent to me. Those are tactics that are used to deliver upon the strategies, which are further intended to deliver upon the objectives. So this is the meat of your business. You should have as many objectives as you feel need to actually create the customer experience that you want to create. They could be physical, the actual outputs of the product or service. They could be the packaging around the product or service. I would be a good person to deal with. It's not specifically part of the product, but it's part of the entire experience of dealing with me. You think about maybe a Nordstrom's, which emphasizes customer service above all else. It sells clothes and other department store products, but it makes its niche by tailoring itself to be the highest caliber of customer service of any retailer out there. And that's how they are unique. So think about these things. How are you going to make a unique contribution to your customers? And finally, the foundation of all of it is your individual values. You want to make sure that you truly believe with every fiber of your being in what your business is trying to do, which means there has to be integrity. Integrity means integral. You can't have policies that you find to be morally dubious. You have to be consistent about that. If you want to honor customer satisfaction and appreciation, you need to offer fair terms for return policy. You need to, if someone is unsatisfied with their product, you yourself have to put a system in place to address those customer concerns. That's a very important thing people often overlook. It's the infrastructure to actually carry out the objectives of customer service. These are important things to build into your business, all these various processes, and what happens if a customer is upset, what happens if a supplier drops the ball, what happens if we can't make a deadline. These are the things that will make you stand out from those people who don't quite put as much effort into building the systems that undergird your business. And again, foremost is that they must be aligned with you personally, or you're really not building a business for you. You're building a business for someone else. And you cannot sell something that is not you. Because ultimately that's all what we're selling. We are only selling ourselves, particularly as professional speakers. So I hope this has been informative and helpful in trying to think about how to structure your business. This is a very easy, it's a simple, not necessarily easy way of really thinking about structuring your business. And it's one that you can do rather quickly if you know the customer experience that you are trying to carry off. So that's the biggest question for you is, who is it you're trying to deal with? And what needs are you trying to address and how you try to make their lives better going forward? If you think about those ideas, you will come up with your objectives, and then you can be creative about devising strategies and tactics to structure that business to do what you want it to do. And that is going to be the key going forward for you. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Dynamos, you're great, and I will see you next time. Take care.